What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe right there. If you like what you hear, please hit the like button, smash it, whatever people are saying that you're supposed to do with it these days. But guys, I'm super appreciative that you're here. And I wrote a blog about this topic last week, but I wanted to also do a video because there is an unbelievable story in Scripture where there is a woman named Esther, and long story short, she goes up against the king, and in a really cool moment, she is reminded that she has been put in this position for such a time as this. That's the title of this video, for such a time as this. Because guys, y'all know this, for over a month now, we have been living in days that none of us have ever experienced. We're all at home. We're stuck to some degree. There are members of our families that are homeschooling our children. The world as we know it may never be the same. And so I'm watching people do one of three things. I'm watching people rise up. I'm watching people do more than they used to be doing. I'm watching people be an encourager, be positive, right? But then there's two other groups of people. I'm also watching people be negative. I'm watching people talk about how the world will never be the same. We might never recover. What am I going to do? We don't have any money. What? Always something. It's just letting fear drive them. Then there's the most dangerous group of people. It's the group of people that on the surface aren't frustrating anybody. They're not ticking anybody off. You're not getting unfriended. But you know what? If you're being honest, you're doing nothing. You are letting fear not result in outbursts, not result in negativity, but result in you being paralyzed. Result in you knowing that you have been appointed as a leader amongst your friend group. You've been appointed as a leader inside of your business. You've been appointed as a leader inside of the clients and customers that you serve. And yet you do nothing. And so in this video, I want to very quickly give you five things. I don't know why it's five like the last video that I did. If you didn't see it, go watch it. But I want to give you five things that we've got to be doing in this time. Because guys, this season is going to pass. I really don't want you to regret it. And I don't want to regret it. Because I look back and I didn't do enough. And so guys, here's number one. You got to fill yourself up. You've got to fill yourself up, right? You cannot give something that you don't have. And I watch leaders all over the place that try to give and give and give and give and give, yet they're not replenishing themselves, and it leads to burnout. It leads to frustration. It leads to anger. It leads to giving your family the worst of you because you gave it all away. And so there's nothing left for you to give once you're home. So guys, you've got to fill yourself up. How do you do it? Read a book that's encouraging and uplifting. Get into Scripture, right? I've been doing a quiet time every single morning, and it's amazing the power that it puts into me. I've been listening to praise and worship music, and it's amazing the mindset shift that it allows me to possess, because I'm feeding my mind what is good, what is positive, what is encouraging, and I'm choking out the negativity that the media wants to constantly shove in my face. And so you've got to fill yourself up. That's number one. Number two is pour yourself out. Guys, pour yourself out. There are so many people out there that are hurting, that are desperate, that are hanging on by a thread. I was watching a story yesterday about some men and women who need a bunch of medication to keep quality of life, and they're running out, and they've been furloughed or they've been let off, and so they don't have the resources to continue to buy these $500 to $1,000 prescriptions that they need. We are surrounded by people that are hurting, and you know what helps? An encouraging word. You know what helps? A positive story. You know what helps is a friend to come alongside them and just keep the cheer going. Too many of you, me included, have sat by the wayside and said, you know what? My family's good. We're good. We're blessed. Man, get out of here with that crap. That is not just who it's about. Am I glad that my family's safe? I'm absolutely glad. But guess what? That could change tomorrow. And guess what? That's not the reality for millions of people across our country. And so, guys, we got to get out there and pour ourselves out. Jump on video like I'm doing right now and put out a message of love. Put out a message of hope. Put out a message that's encouraging. Put out a message that's motivating people to keep going, to keep moving forward. Right? I jumped on Instagram this morning and did a series of stories where I just talked about, guys, if you're in a funk, change something. All right, change something. Go for a walk. Pick up a new book. Go find a new game to do with your kids. Go pick a new hobby. You've got to change the flow that you've been in if that flow has resulted in you being in a funk. But guys, we've got to be pouring ourselves out. People need us more than ever. And so get out there and pour yourself out. Number 3, or this way. I don't know. How would you do it? This way or this way? Number 3, don't give your family what's left. Guys, this is probably the one that I am the most embarrassed of because my business requires so much of me emotionally, physically, inspirationally, right? Speaking for a living, coaching for a living, it wears me out. And far too many days, I've come home and I've given my family my worst. I've given my family the scraps. And this time in shelter at home has shown me how much more I have to give them. It's reminded me how much more important they really should be. It's reminded me that, you know what? It's okay if I don't start that project at 9 because I'm going to go take a walk with my kids at 9 and I'll get to that project at 10:30. All right, nothing is going to happen in that 90-minute window that's going to keep me from being successful. And so why have I convinced myself that everything has to come first? Then I'm going to make time for my family. Guys, do not lose your family in your attempt to build something in your business. It's not worth it. I know way too many lonely people that do not lack for money. They do not lack for toys. They do not lack for anything that the world says is good. But they do lack in relationship because they neglected those people in an attempt to build something else. Yet here's what's interesting, is those people would tell you they were building this for them. But guys, here's what I've learned. My decade as a youth pastor and now my time as a coach and a speaker. People don't want presents from us. They want our presence with them. So stop trying to go and build something that you are saying is going to be for your family one day because they might not be there to celebrate it with you. Go give them your best right this second. Number 4, it's simple, guys. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. Because you know what? This gets easy at first. Being the rah-rah guy, being the cheerleader, being the motivator, being the encourager, being Mr. Positivity, at first it's easy. And it's actually a lot of fun because people are craving it. But I can promise you guys that a day comes when it's exhausting. The day comes when you won't want to see someone else. You won't want to smile at them because you're just kind of fed up and over it. And we've got to protect from that day. So keep the faith. Continually remind yourself that our best days are ahead of us. Continually remind yourself that the economy isn't just going to get back to normal, but it's going to exceed what the old normal was, right? We believe that. Believe that the business maybe that has floundered or the job that has been lost. Believe that God has something greater for you on the other side of this valley that our entire world has found itself in. You got to keep the faith. And the last piece to this keep the faith part is surround yourself with the right people. You've got to make sure that the people around you are encouraging you in the same way that you're encouraging others. I had somebody message me, a friend of mine messaged me the other day, and she said, "Hey, I bet a lot of people don't ask you this because you're always so positive, but how are you? How are you doing?" And honestly, I haven't even responded back to her yet because I was really taken back because nobody asks me that, right? Because I'm Mr. Positivity. Of course, Kyle's doing great. But guess what, guys? I got something to tell you. I'm not having perfect days. Man, this sucks. This is hard. So I've got to keep the faith. I've had to get my nose into scripture more now than ever before. I've had to double up on quiet times where I'm not just doing one quiet time. I'm doing 2 quiet times someday because we've got to keep the faith, because this fight is worth it. This fight is worth it. And then the last thing, guys, number 5, do it again tomorrow. Do it again tomorrow. This is not a battle cry for you guys to step up and make a difference for the next couple days, for the next couple weeks. This is a battle cry for us to rise up as leaders, because many of you that watch this, you're leaders. The entrepreneur community, business owners, right? We make up about 10% of America, which means 90% of America works inside of all the things that those 10% have created. So you are the leaders. And so put on this opportunity and let's carry it out. Let's carry it out for the next year, for the next decade, so that our kids are carrying it out. Our grandkids are carrying it out. Man, let's make this something incredible. Because I want to finish with this. I was texting with a buddy this morning, and I was asking him like what all he's been doing with his family. And if I'm being honest, he's doing more with his family than I'm even doing with mine. But I'm still proud of the intentionality that I'm putting into my family, that my wife is putting into our family. And I told my buddy, I said, man, you know what? I said, I think 20 years from now, our kids are going to look back on the coronavirus pandemic as a good thing in their life. Because the stories that they're going to tell will not be of the death toll, will not be of the infected, will not be of the lull in the economy, will not be in the lack of toilet paper available to them. It will be, man, my dad was home so much more. I loved that my mom was teaching a school. I loved that dad was hanging out and singing songs with us before school started. I love that we were going in the backyard more and playing baseball and swinging on swings and taking walks and pulling out the video game system and playing video games and dusting off an old projector and putting a screen, a bed sheet on the wall and having family movie night. My question to you is, what are your kids going to say about this pandemic if the only idea of what it should be is you get up and do it again? And you know what? If you're in that group right now that you've kind of hid during this time, you've pulled back, you know what? Today is your day. Today is your day one. Let's change the narrative. Let's control the narrative. Let's do something different. And it all starts with you. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. We're in this together. Let's keep going, and we'll talk to you soon. See ya.